Welcome back to Sports News Africa. And with just 2 days to go now till the opening of the Africa Cup of Nations tournament in Equatorial Guinea, we conclude our preview of the four groups with a look at the so-called Group of Death, Group C and Group D. Joining us now via Skype is African football correspondent Peter Heyde, who is travelling to the games on Friday. So, Peter, starting with Group C, can you give us an idea of the strengths and weaknesses of each of the participating teams?
Well, I think Algeria's strength is kind of, in a way, one doesn't even need to talk about. They're the number one ranked team in the country. They were the only ones really to have impressed at the World Cup. North African teams are generally very strong in this competition, though they haven't won for a while. And I think Algeria has just got a complete professionalism behind it. So I think that will count in their favor, obviously. Ghana has just an abundance of excellent players. And I think they have always been strong, though they've always lacked the very final push, but they'll certainly be a team that many other opponents will have to be careful of. South Africa go into the competition on an unbeaten run. They haven't lost since Shakes Mashaba took over 9 games, and there's a confidence in South Africa that hasn't been there for a long, long time. I fear that they might be a bit overwhelmed by having to suddenly take on these teams and needing results. Also, Shakes Mashaba took a few decisions like leaving out Tulani Serero, who's probably the best player the best South African player who plays for Ajax Amsterdam. Their strength is the team spirit that Shakes Mashaba has instilled in the side, and the players are willing to go the extra mile for him. And the final team in the group, Senegal, also a very strong side. They will be lacking, presumably, Sadio Mane. That obviously will be something that they would dearly not to be in a situation like that. But Senegal has never really reached the heights that people expected them to reach after the 2002 World Cup, and I'm not sure that they would achieve that this time around.
Ghana are taking 9 tournament debutants to Equatorial Guinea. Is this a calculated gamble?
Well, yes, it is a little bit of a calculated gamble, but we're also not talking. We're not talking players who haven't been around the national team for a while. What we're really talking, rather than talk about debutants, I think we need to talk about youngsters, because they are young players. But Afiri Akwi, who plays for Parma in Italy, you don't get to play in the Serie A if you can't play football. Or Anderlecht's Frank Achipampo, he's another player who's been around, not at this level, but I think they're good players. And I think the coach, yes, he did take a gamble, but I think it's a gamble that could quite easily pay off for him.
In Group D, Ivory Coast and Cameroon are the standout teams. Do you see a surprise from this package?
Yes, I think Mali have a player who can really impress, and that's Saïdou Keita. He's another player who leads on the field, who can take his players with him. And I think Mali have managed to, they knocked out the hosts in 2012. They followed that up by knocking out the hosts in 2013, both in penalties on the quarterfinals. And I think they could well surprise Cameroon. One would think that Ivory Coast is the team to definitely go through, but I think Cameroon will have to be at their best against Mali.
Peter Heyde, thank you for speaking to Sports News Africa.